Hey everyone, Mick here, and welcome to Chapter 3 of The Art of Dirt. And the chapter this time is about soil. So, I am here with my best bud, Josh Venters, who knows a thing or two about soil. So, Josh, why don't you tell us about what you do when you're not mountain biking?
Well, I wish I was doing that more often, but no, I'm a geological engineer, and a lot of people might not know what that is, but geological engineering, you go to school for that. I went to Colorado School of Mines. I work as a consultant teaching people how to build longer lasting roads, building foundations, retaining walls, reinforced slopes, making sure, your highway doesn't fall down during an earthquake, California. And so that's what I do. And I spend a lot of time also helping people understand their trails and how to design them and build them correctly.
And that's Josh and I, we met several years ago, mountain bike racing actually. And then several years later, we started building trail together. We worked on it together and came up with new techniques here on the west side of the mountains where I'm at right now at Josh's property. We came up with these techniques to help mitigate water damage, erosion damage, because water is probably the number one thing around here that we have to really mitigate to have sustainable trails. This series is about building not trails that you don't care about, but building actual sustainable trails that, when we're building trails for land managers, that's what the land manager wants to know. They want to know if the trail is going to be sustainable. So, leading into that, what is like, when you're out riding around, what is it that you take notice first about trails? What is it that you look at and you're like, man, that could have been made better, or
Oh, if it's sustainable. No, I'm just joking. I probably actually have never once thought while I was riding my mountain bike if it was sustainable or not. But to make a trail sustainable, or what really is long lasting, you've hit on the number one problem that I see is water, and how water is being moved across your trail system. So I see a lot of guys want to build a trail, and you want to build a trail from point A to point B because that's the area it needs to go. And so a straight line's not always the best in this case. Water isn't always going straight from A to B, and so if water's not being taken into account when you're cutting your trail in, after that trail's open and it rains on it, that trail's going to get washed out. So water's probably the biggest issue I see. Second is, probably soil type. I do notice what type of soil, what type of rock that is being utilized. And I know most trails are like, we just want to use what we have because we're not going to import any materials. So we can go through what you have and how to use that material correctly.
Yeah, like, some soil types, they're not as good at draining water out quickly, and other soil types aren't good at holding a foundation on a narrow, bench. It needs a little bit wider bench to allow to spread that out. So that's what we're going to talk about in this chapter, is just about those types of things, about soil compaction and how it aids in a good solid trail, and as well as the types of and how soil reacts to different types of soil, reacts to water. So we'll take some next episode. We're going to kind of go over what soil is. We throw this term out, soil, but what really is soil? There's all these different types of things that make up what soil is, and then there's, in the following chapter after that, we're going to look at exactly what happens to soil when you start applying water to that soil and how it reacts differently than when it's dry. So, and we'll just move on from there, and who knows how many chapters this will end up being. We're shooting for just a few, so not to bore you guys too much on this, just give you a quick little thing into soil, and then in the next chapter we'll cover over previously when I said chapters I meant episodes. So in the next episode we'll talk about, so in this chapter we're going to talk about soil. In the next chapter we're going to talk about water. So, and then how that actually reacts with the tread that we have. So, yeah, anything else?
Show and tell?
Sure. Well, quick show and tell, and yeah.
Or did you want to put this in the next episode?
This was going to be part of like
next episode
Yeah,
then.
next
Yeah,
episode.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because then we're going to be talking about what makes up soil.
Yeah.